please feel free to put your information up in the chat. I'll put mine up there as well. I send out a weekly newsletter. Don't spam the group at all, but if you'll give me your email address, I'm happy to add you to that newsletter. Usually just telling who our speaker is going to be that week. Today we actually get to hear from Dan, and so you'll get to hear about his mission and expertise, and just a really quick background of the group. Bob and I started this about a year ago. And really focusing on bringing small businesses together and helping to network. And now the group has grown, even though not everyone can be here each week. We do have over 160 doctors, lawyers, scientists, professors, a lot of PhDs and PharmDs from my background and experience, in entrepreneurs and business leaders that meet here each week. And I live by the principle that I learned 30 some odd years ago in sales from the late great Zig Ziglar, that you'll get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So, and even more recently, Tony Robbins talks about the secret of living is giving. And so that's the whole idea of putting the group together. We do it a little different than just, networking. We like to have each member do a presentation so we can get more in depth, because you only learn so much in a 2-minute, this is who I am and what I do. And so it's always great to have somebody actually present to the group so we can really get to know, like, and trust them better. So then we can be thinking about, okay, who's a good referral in our network that we can refer them to. One of my superpowers for many years has been that I know a guy, and now I want to be able to share some of those guys and gals that I know in my network, and certainly help with anything that Bob's a brilliant program for outreach, specifically on LinkedIn. I can also help on other social media platforms. I've done some training here with Mike recently, Hayes, on some outreach as well. And then, I've got about 120,000 followers on my social media that we could help push out communications to as well, if there's something that you want to get out to the masses. So, but with that said, Dan, do you have some slides that you want to share with us today?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Bob. So Bob, I don't think I've got. Yeah, I don't have control of the Zoom. If you could help Dan be able to share his screen, that would be great.
Yep.
All right, let's see if I've got it. Yeah.
Here we go. Dan, or I'll make you a co-host. There you go.
Says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Yeah, it's still disabled.
Okay, try that.
That's looking good.
Got
All
it?
right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the time to be able to share and keep it light and hopefully interesting for everyone today. Tell a little bit of my story, how I got here, why I'm here, and happy to take any questions or dig in on anything, but I want to just kind of give a high-level overview. First
Wow,
place I like to
is
start.
that even the same guy? I mean, who is that?
I know. So this is it is sort of revealing, but also, I find it a little comical to compare what I looked like before starting a business, which is on the left, and the picture on the right was taken of me just like 6 months ago. I think that there's a lot to be said about the physical, emotional, toll that's taken on business operators, especially bootstrap startups that go through the rigor. And I learned a lot very quickly in operating a business and attempting to scale and grow it, and ran into some pitfalls that I'll get into a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, so I founded my company in March of 2019. It was called Sales Enable, and I was doing done-for-you sales prospecting as a service for companies as small as like $500,000 in revenue, up to about 20 million in revenue. And we're basically building sales tech stacks that would do automated outreach for companies and generate opportunities for them without them having to add more sales staff or add a person like me that knew sales technology. And appointments would just pop into people's calendars. They would show up to meetings, and that was the magic in it. It took me about 6 months to go to market. I was on the heels of leaving a biz dev director role, and I was in an unwritten way being asked to work about 70 hours a week, just based on prospecting output to conversion rate. And I kind of left that role scratching my head that it just shouldn't take one person 70 hours a week worth of prospecting to make ends meet. And that's how I fell into this, automated outreach discipline. So after 6 months, I started to get yeses. People started to come on board, and I started to earn clients. I doubled my revenue from year 1 to year 2. Had pretty moderate growth in year 3. Pandemic actually was a boon. It was kind of an embarrassment of riches, to be honest, because companies that were traditionally going to conferences and trade shows to generate opportunities were coming to me. Those opportunities were falling in my lap, and so we grew pretty quickly. In my first 3 years of operating, I earned 100 new contracts with about $1 million in revenue tied to it, and I was cruising. Things were a little bit, weren't easy all the time. I definitely come from a background of move fast and break things. I have a sales and marketing background, and so those are the things that I know, right? When it comes to business operations, go get more business, go talk to more people, come up with some clever slogans. Those are all the things that I knew and did really well, and that helped propel my company. And in my mind, I felt like as long as I was bringing on 2-3 new contracts a month, that everything else would balance itself out, even if I didn't really know what I was doing in operations or HR or business negotiation. So I in playing loose and fast, I ran into issues pretty regularly. And to give you an idea of things that I just didn't think had negative ramifications tied to them, I would, in creating my contracts with people, I would just Google contracts, find one that looked good, copy paste, and that was my new sales contract. Instead of doing it the right way. Or hiring people, I would just say, hey, you're the best person for this. I'm going to hire you. Let's not worry. W-2 1099 doesn't matter, whatever. Let's just move forward and start doing some work together. I wasn't akin to reviewing the details and discovering, the true business ramifications of those decisions. And some things would cause hiccups in my business. I had a former employee shake me down for extra money. I had some contracts go bad, but I kept moving forward because our revenue kept coming in. And then I met this gentleman. So in October of 22, I actually in August of 22, I was at a peak. We had hit an all-time high monthly revenue. We had eclipsed 110 clients are earned in contracts. Our contracts were a higher dollar value than they had ever been. My team was the biggest it had ever been. I had 5 people on staff and a satellite of 6 other VAs and part-timers that were helping out. And I was starting to imagine my logo on the side of buildings, my son doing his first internship with my company in 10 years from now. I had some big ideas and visions where I could take the company. And then in October, I met this guy. He's still a locally operating investor. His name is Danny also. And he said, "Hey, what you're doing is amazing. Your trajectory is crazy. I want to invest in your company. I want to bring it into my portfolio. I want you to help me grow another brand that I have. And we're going to make this thing way bigger and way meatier down the road." And it wasn't a deal I was looking for. But it was a deal that was way too good to pass up, just for the sheer opportunity of it, the backstops that were being created for me. And long story short, because I played loose and fast, within 4 months of approving or signing a letter of intent with this investor, my business totally imploded. I lost 90% of my clients, and all of my employees walked, and I was left trying to manage a small handful of clients by myself, without any new revenue, because I was back paying a load of debt that I was stuck with. And it all crumbled last year around February, March, around this time last year. So it's a cautionary tale. But I've landed, I've fully transitioned into small business advisory with Insperity, because it is hands down. Sorry, looks like something else got pulled up here. You guys still seeing my screen?
Yeah.
We're seeing a screen.
Yeah, it's not
Zoom
mine.
and oh,
Zoom. We can see Zoom.
so
Looks like someone else maybe grabbed the screen share here.
yeah, Bob, can you
Oh, yeah, you know what? I think that's me.
Okay, let me pull
Shoot.
it away here.
There we go. I popped out of it.
All right, are we back here?
Yeah.
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 Okay, cool. So the amazing thing, opportunity that I have now with Insperity, or have had over the last year, is that I can tie up a lot of the loose ends that I created in my own business, and I can come to the table and express the experience that I had in operating what was a successful small business that ran into both operational and situational difficulties, and I can make it right for as many small businesses as I get in front of. And I definitely have a soft spot for bootstraps in particular. But I think so many companies, don't think about their operations as an early organization, and it ends up being a pain point as companies start to grow. And so I've aligned with Insperity because the mission is similar to my own. This is a company that has been built and was constructed on our CEO's belief that it is too hard to individually operate a small business. He himself, Paul Servati, actually had 3 failed small businesses before founding Insperity, which was previously Administaff. So what's been created is by far the deepest and the widest solution set, most comprehensive solution set for business operations that there's ever been. So some of the reasons people find me, and some of the benefit people get from improving the way that their business infrastructure gets built is administrative relief. So I couldn't wake up in the morning and think about filing my EIN in multiple states as a sales and marketing based business operator. It just was beneath me in a lot of ways. Insperity completely takes all of the HR and compliance admin off of a leader's plate so that they can worry about the things that they do best. We mitigate any potential risk in having employees. So as I expressed, I had an employee that I didn't properly cross my T's. They knew that. They came back and they got an additional $10K from me and shook me down for additional money after they were let go. That doesn't happen with Insperity clients. We follow all the paperwork. We make sure that you're compliant in every single state that you do business, and we onboard and offboard in a way that we stand side by side with companies, so that if there is any issue, we're right there. We help improve the efficiency of companies. So companies that work with Insperity outperform others 3 to 5 times, simply because they have happier staff, more engaged staff, and empowered staff, and also they have Fortune 500 benefits, which Insperity offers, and makes accessible to even companies as small as 5 employees. We also contain costs. So the way our core solution works basically is we bring all of the, we pool all of our clients together on the same payroll. And then we go and buy benefits from United Healthcare. And when you have the buying power of a Google or a Cisco Systems or an Apple, not only get better rates, but you get deeper services, you get more access, and then we pass that down to all of our clients. So it truly is like a Fortune 500 offering that can be made micro for SMBs. This is just a quick and dirty on what's included in what we do. We do literally everything. It comes completely turnkey for all like back office and administrative duties. HR compliance, recruiting, the benefit side, liability insurance, performance management, even training of employees and upskilling of employees. We have a 500,000 record training facility, online training facility that allows you to get new certifications, so that you can increase your role, increase your wages and compensation with your employer. The other thing that I think is really critical is, as a business operator, I felt alone a lot of the times. I was alone to make the decisions. When you bring on Insperity, you get an entire team of people and liaisons that help you move forward in the most appropriate way. You can bounce questions off of them. They're your eyes on certain things. So there's someone always double checking your payroll, so that it doesn't have to be you. There's someone asking compliance related questions if you have them. People that are helping you with onboarding and recruiting, and then your advisor, which is me, that is helping you find new opportunities for growth and maximizing the team that you have. So ideal candidates for this type of solution and for me to work with are, again, minimum of 5 employee companies up to about 500. If it was bigger than that, I'd find a way to make it work. But really, I have just a sweet spot for the small business. That's who I really want to get in front of and talk to, because I can help them the most and speak their language. Companies usually have a "we want to get better" initiative or idea about the growth of their company. And you'd be surprised how many companies don't have that belief. It might sound like common sense, but some companies say we're good how we are. We've always operated this way. We've been around for 50 years. We do it this way and this way only, and that's totally fine. That's just not a mindset fit for us. Companies where the CEO might be too involved in the operations or too involved in the day-to-day, and they're not free to do the more visionary work that they should be doing. Maybe a company where employees are spread out in different states, in different places, and compliance and regulatory issues can be kind of a mess, as well as the administration duties, and companies that truly value their employees. Again, that's not every company. So, if you walk into a restaurant, they know that some of the college kids they hire are going to be here today. They're going to be gone in 6 months when school gets out. they value their employees, but they don't truly believe that the growth of the company hinges on their people. And so the companies that do and understand that their people are their key to the next level, that's someone that, again, is a mindset fit for us. We do a ton of different industries too. There's very few that are like a disqualified industry. We don't work with companies that have some level of danger, or extreme danger involved in what they do, like underwater welding and overnight trucking, anything that handles a weapon in order to, accomplish their role. Also no cannabis, but otherwise pretty much wide open. So I have we have a pretty standard referral plan, which is, I think, pretty incredible. We pay $200 just to meet with somebody. So if you send me over somebody just to meet with, we have a conversation about business. Doesn't matter if it's a fit or not. You get bonus $200 if they end up moving forward. Which is a long process. This is an integrated solution that takes a couple months to discover whether or not it's going to be a fit. The referral bonus could be up to $15,000, depending upon size of company, what services they engage with, all that. I've personally, I usually cut about $800 to $1,000 worth of bonuses every month. Right now I have one referral partner that's up to about $1,200 in referral bonus, which is great, just for sending me people to talk to. And a special incentive for this month, if you find someone to put me in front of, I also send a special thank you of my favorite business or mindset related book right now. I'll let you choose, and I'll send you that as well, in addition to the $200 referral bonus. And that's everything I have for you guys today. Hope that was interesting, compelling, and happy to answer any questions if you have some.
Yeah, Daniel, that's awesome. And I know that Mike had a question in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, Beck. Yeah, Daniel, I was wondering, because I do have an expo, so I would love to talk to you about sending you referrals, A. But B, I wondered if there is a certification to become an Insperity advisor.
There's not. So we have people on staff that are certified HR specialists, and there is a few specializations that I can pick up and elect to pick up along the way, just to further improve my standing and put a nice little logo on my business card. I don't currently, and I did not need those to start as an advisor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to discuss the expo later.
Yeah. And then I think Breck should refer me to you so that you and I can sit down, that he can get a $200 bonus.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to swing it.
Hey, Dan, congratulations. You really are amazing. That you were going up and up and up and up. And then what really happened? Was it taking on an investment partner that things began to go wrong, or?
Yeah.
So as we've spoken about on this slot before, that an investment can become a vulture. Well, I'm not saying that happened to you, but can you expand on that?
Yeah. So essentially what happened is the investor committed to me with finances that they did not have. They completely inflated their solvency and made commitments to me that I found out about 90 days in that they just frankly couldn't meet. I had to scramble and try and make up the difference through really risky financing, short-term loans, credit cards, and factoring against invoices that I had, just to try and make my team whole in order to keep them working for me. It started to roll downhill the investor continued to pull back and pull back. They only made good on about 30% of the distribution that they were going to send to me, and it just wasn't enough to keep us afloat. So eventually, it was the debt that we accrued to try and get out of the hole that was our undoing. But it was at the sort of influence of the investor.
So is it now possible for anybody to say, would you check out this investor for me? You ring somebody, or is there an organization there to say, would you check out this investor and see, are they risk averse, or are they funded well, or what?
Yeah, good question. So I've definitely gone down the path of speaking to a few different lawyers to see if I have any legal position. And what they've basically said is nobody's been willing to take it on contingency, which I would have to have. You would need something very ironclad in order to get a lawyer to take you on contingency. And they've basically all told me, unless I have 100K to chase it, there's really not much recourse here, and it happens all the time. This same investor went on to crumble another company right after my own. They're still active, they're still grifting, and honestly, as a small business owner, I was always behind the 8 ball with the deal. An investor like this comes in, they're the authority, they understand the rules, they understand the risks. They know how to position themselves appropriately, where the small business owner doesn't know how to protect themselves, and I didn't. And so that's the real, the shame of it all is that it was predatory in a lot of ways.
Dan, you've got a couple of other questions.
Well done.
Sure. All right, Elaine, looks like you're at the top of the panel there.
So, Dan, is there any particular kind of industry sector that you would like introductions into? Is there any particular niche?
I work a lot with professional services companies. So that would be anything from marketing companies, development companies, IT, cybersecurity. Companies like those are, I have a lot of experience with. I've worked with them a number of times, so they're always really good. But I've also spoken to manufacturing companies. There's what else do I have going on? Oh, there's a company that produces batteries that I'm working with. A company that does screen printing, embroidery and stuff like that. That there's really not one core company makeup. Even a physical therapist is currently I'm currently talking to. Anybody that just runs into these types of employee related issues is a good fit.
So the battery company that you're working with, is it solar?
No, they're actually developing a new type of superconductor, which is super interesting. They have 26 patents, and they're trying to they want to change the world. In their own words, they want to create a new way to store energy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Damar?
Hey, Damar.
A couple questions. So when you say that you help companies, or they have a mindset they want to get better, how do you help them achieve that?
Yeah, good question. So the very first thing that we do, which I think is truly indicative of the entire process and the solution, is we actually do an operational audit of a company where we delineate all the way down to discovering all of the costs associated with every employee in a company. It's a really nice tool because it helps companies truly understand their cost basis per employee, assign revenue to each employee in their company, and do a better job of predicting and projecting future hires. So I think right from the jump, we become a total strategic partner where we really can help you grow your company, make for happy employees, which is only important to certain leaders, right? Like some leaders grow their companies so that they can better care for others, and that they can see other people's families, children go to college, and that's a true motivating factor. And those are people that we can really help, because we can help them retain their employees, help them have positive outlooks, positive mindsets, help them grow as both people and professionals. And that's where that really stems from, is like that strategic, we're going to make your people better, and that's going to make your company better as an infrastructure.
Okay, so you're really approaching it from the employee side, and you know, of from the standpoint of really helping them to kind of really be kind of like Chick-fil-A in the philosophy that they want to empower the people within that are working for them to be better people, and you know, at some point either go off in, you know, into some other industry or potentially become owners of that system.
Minus the closed on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then, so the last question is, for a small business, how do they pay you in that, as far as, and what
Yeah.
percentage of their revenue are you tapping into?
Yeah, you know, it's a fair question. It is different for every company we work with. But what I can tell you is that about a third of the people that we talk to, we find savings, just straight savings from what they're already doing. You know, either we're saving them a bunch on medical, we're saving them on their workers' comp insurance, their EPLI, their short-term disability. We're just saving them on all that stuff, and it's a total no-brainer. Another third of the people we work with, it's flat even. We come in and we pick up all of those back-end services and solutions, and we're even. We're not an investment. We're not a savings at all. So that's 2/3 of the people we work with are either savings or flat even. And then a third of the people that we work with, they want the extra service, they want the extra compliance, they want to sleep at night knowing that you know, their employees are going to be happy and not be disgruntled down the road, and they're willing to invest a certain amount every year to do that. So that's kind of the what it ends up being, where it ends up falling. But we end up, you know, we're a publicly traded company, so we don't upcharge any of the medical or workers' comp. It ends up being, you know, straight as it's purchased from the market, the open market, and it goes straight to the employees without any upcharge, unlike a brokerage sort of model where the broker is taking 15% on top or whatever it is. You just get those services as a portion of it. We then will administer just like a flat fee per the amount of employees that you have as a part of our service offering, and that's how our fee structure is set up. Go ahead, Bob.
Elaine, real quick, Bob, Elaine had her hand up, but you took your hand down. Do you still have a question?
Yeah, my question was similar to the last one.
Okay.
It was price point, so it's been
All right.
covered.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I've represented Insperity people in the past, and I found that one of the biggest areas that they save businesses is in the workers' comp. Is that still the situation? Because what you do is you combine it.
Yeah, so as a pretty hard and fast rule, we're usually at a minimum a 10% savings, upwards of 15-17% savings on workers' comp. I've maybe only once seen an instance where we didn't save somebody money on workers' comp, but almost always we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. What percentage of your clients that you work with are those bigger, 500 employee or more? Is it tend to
Very
be
few.
on the high end? Okay.
Yeah, very few. Really, my range is, I have some smaller companies, some like 7-person companies, I've got one 4-person company that has like some high medical risk people that I've squeezed in under, under some, future growth promises, up to about 150 to 200 range is kind of like, yeah.
Good. And
Yeah, I
what's
found that the small and mid-market is always the best place for Insperity. It kind of fits like a glove there.
Yeah. Companies do actually grow out of us, eventually. We've a couple famous cases of that we've had are Netflix and HelloFresh. Both kind of grew up and out of our solution. Once you get up to a few thousand employees, that we'll be the first to tell you that there are better solutions out there for companies that are going enterprise.
Never heard of those companies. No, I'm just kidding. What's the relationship with United Healthcare? Is that just a carrier that you guys have built a relationship with over the years?
Yeah, that's our core carrier. So we but we are the plan sponsor for our program. And we also work with Kaiser, a couple of the other big ones across the country to make sure that we have all states covered.
Okay.
But United is our main healthcare provider.
Okay. They would be a good company if they didn't also own Optum. So,
I don't know about that. What's that?
That's their. How would you describe Optum, Damar? Is that their mafia arm of the healthcare company?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
basically they're the profit center for and they basically do everything to destroy the profitability of pharmacies, so
Wow.
community pharmacies. And so from
Yeah.
that standpoint, yeah, so they're
the pharmacy benefit managers. So
yeah.
yeah. But it also represents what's 75% of their profit for United Healthcare. Yeah.
Wow. Who knew?
Interesting. Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion that we could totally derail on. But thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate
Thank you.
learning more
everyone.
about you and your your journey to get where you're at now and able to help it. We've heard a lot lately about the whole it's not selling or introducing concepts or anything. It's storytelling, and that you did that beautifully, telling your whole background about where you came from to get to there. So perfect example of people that have talked to us about becoming better storytellers, right?
Well, it's my favorite topic, Breck, talking about myself.
I understand. Mr. Math.
I have a couple of questions. I hope Dan doesn't mind. First of all, are you considered 1099 by the companies that hire you?
No. So we actually will all the employees keep their status. So if they're W-2 or 1099, they continue to be so. They just go on to a more centralized payroll. But their status doesn't change. Their employees.
No, I'm not referring to them. I'm referring to your company. Your company is hired more like a consultant, so you're 1099. And in the process, because you're doing so much of the backroom operations and so forth, that means companies won't need as many employees to do so in the process. Did I get that
They're
right?
they're a
It's more of a
service
vendor
provider.
relationship. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's more of a vendor relationship where we're hired as a partner rather than as an employee.
Yeah, so they're a service provider, not
Yeah.
an employee
So you're not,
or
so you don't do the same things, for example, let's say there's an ADP, which actually will take over different departments for a company for a fee, so that they can contract that work out, and not worry about the employees. It's
No. Yeah, completely different. Mhm.
okay.
You know, there's a lot of opportunity to refer Insperity. That's been my experience. So great company, they help you to package your business in a format that allows you to save money. And they give you a lot of training along the way too. Am I right, Dan?
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a few years since I've
Yeah.
dealt with any Insperity people.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think one way to tell that story, Bob, is that we work with a lot of VCs, and VCs trust Insperity to essentially take a lot of the due diligence off their plate, because we're really, really good at identifying operational issues in companies, exposing them and fixing them with solutions. And so we work with a lot of VCs, and we're always coming out with new, like, more expansive benefits offerings that just continue to enhance and make more comprehensive the solution that we provide. An example of that is we just doubled the fertility and adoption benefits that we have, which is something that very few others even have. You have to look really hard to find solutions as deep as ours, or
Wow.
that commit as much benefit as ours do in those phases. And it's because we believe in those things. Our CEO has adopted 5 children and using our own adoption benefit, and he firmly believes in finding a home for children in need.
Wow,
And so
that's
it's a company
amazing.
that lives and breathes and acts upon it.
That's great.
Your
Great.
LinkedIn kind of indicates that you've only been with Insperity for a year or so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just
Yeah.
wanted to-
So literally
Yeah.
this time last year was when I was rolling up my business. February, March is when I was rolling it up.
Awesome. Hey, in the last 10 minutes we have here, Elaine's new to the group. I'd love for her to give us a little more background on her and specifically your online health hub. I need to hear more about that because that's my industry.
Okay, thank you, Brick. So I'm based in the Algarve, south of Portugal, but I'm obviously English from my accent, as you'll tell. So I have been managing partner of a variety of different law firms, and I ran a big consultancy division for Ernst & Young way back. But I got cancer, my first cancer 2009, then again 2011, 2015 I was given less than a year to live, and I've had various other things crop up, plus also kidney disease. So, which I've beaten all of them pretty much naturally in various different forms, using an integrative approach, but depending upon what my training has been at the time. So these days, my message is all about health and well-being. You can have all these fancy positions, do all the big, wonderful stuff, but if you haven't got your health, you've got nothing. So my health hub is an online repository of documents. I'm in the middle of transferring from one platform to another. There's still loads and loads of documents on there, so people can go on and search. But I do a twice a week networking. It's UK time, 10 o'clock on a Monday. And on Friday morning, we have the Friday Health Club, 11 till 12:30 UK time, where we have guest speakers. But it's a very supportive network. I've got people that I've helped turn around serious cancers on there. I've got general people in the public. I've got doctors. I've got all kinds of different people. Obviously, each week we have different people turn up, and the Monday call is pretty much turned into a drop-in surgery. You know, things have happened over the weekend. Husband's got a rash, son's fallen over, somebody's broken something, bits have dropped off, whatever. So we've normally got people in the group that can provide some kind of guidance on natural well-being, or direct them to a doctor if that's what's needed. And I work predominantly with lawyers and accountants because I've got the street cred and walked the talk in the past and know how stressful those industry sectors are. So that's it in a nutshell, but it's many years worth of experience all rolled into 4 seconds.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Damar.
Yeah, is it possible to get her on the schedule to talk a little bit more in depth about what she does?
Yeah,
And
would love that.
and-
And I was going to also invite you, if you can make next week, Michelle will be presenting, so you won't be the only gal in the group. She had another meeting today, but yeah, Michelle will be presenting next week. But yeah, would love to get you on the schedule to present to this group. And a very in-line mission. Dr. Lewis is a PharmD, and we work together on wellness projects together. And you've got Armand here, who has an executive program for executives to help them age gracefully, and amazing benefit. I don't know how much you know about Patrick, but Patrick is type 1 diabetic that said, I'm not going to give in, and has got some nutrition that he has found and to better his life. I launched a little social media campaign last year that I didn't think was going to blow up, but I kind of wanted to see what patients, if patients were ready to take responsibility for their healthcare and not just hope that a doctor could prescribe them a pill that they could take and solve all their problems. And it was pretty interesting how many patients really caught on to that. And that's where the 100,000 plus people are coming from. But I created a Facebook group to direct them all into, because they all had health issues that they needed answers. So you're doing that already. That's a beautiful thing. The time doesn't work out real well with the UK times and US. I just put a event into the chat there, which is a program. Mike had to jump off and get into the car, but Mike Hayes, who's an NBC, CNN, retired broadcaster, hosts a speed networking event on Tuesdays. Unfortunately, it's noon Pacific time, so that's probably really early in the morning UK. But noon Pacific time, the first half hour is a speed networking, and the second half hour we really get into lively discussions about health and wellness. But yeah, anyone's obviously invited to participate in that event.
Noon Pacific time is 8. Noon Pacific time is 8 o'clock her time in England.
Oh, who were I think? So I was talking to somebody that was a lot. It was like, I'm sorry, that was Chris over in Taipei.
I'm sorry, Greg. I had to make that clear.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Moshe, is that I should get up out of bed and come on the call at 8 o'clock, which will be an exception for me. I don't do anything before 10 o'clock in the morning these days.
No, it's 8 p.m. If it's noon
in PM, it's the other way.
8 p.m. That's what I was trying to say. It's 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's easy peasy. I can manage that unless
That's what I thought.
unless I'm drunk.
Do they sell Guinness over there?
They do sell Guinness over here, but it's not the proper the over the Liffey Dublin Guinness, unfortunately. But they do. Yeah, I'm a red wine girl myself.
Okay. We had that discussion one week.
Break. What's Mike Hayes's? What's the Zoom link for that? Or
I just put it in the chat there.
oh, thank you.
Please save the chat. If this is your first time ever being on a Zoom meeting, I'll call you a liar, because we've all been on hundreds of these now. But at the bottom of the chat, the 3 little buttons there, and we'll save it for you too, and send it out as well. But yeah, that link's in there. And then Elaine, any of your practitioners that would like to help out with those thousands of patients that have questions, I'd invite you to. I'll put that link in there too for the Facebook group, because that's an open forum. Come with questions, and then I match up providers. And a lot of the providers, we do have PharmDs and MDs in there, but a lot of the providers are functional wellness experts, like Dr. Mike Johnson was practicing functional medicine before it was called functional medicine. So for over 40 years, he's kind of an expert on the autoimmune side of things. And so I refer a lot of people to him that are having issues with autoimmune problems. But I'll put the link in here as soon as I can find it for you. There it is.
Great, thank you. I've got a group with on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook very often. LinkedIn is more my playground, but I've got 4,000 in a group. Used to be bigger than that. Used to have lots and lots of activity, but it's died off. A lot of people I found have fled Facebook, but I'm quite opinionated, and my account has been ghosted, and I've been thrown off of Facebook and YouTube and everything else. So I must be speaking the truth somewhere along the line. And I've invested in my own private platform now. So I also host a podcast. I used to have my own radio show when I was in the UK. And when I moved to Portugal, it wasn't practical to keep that up. So it got too complicated, making programs and shipping them back, and things got a bit difficult. So I then went to podcasts. So I now do the podcast direct on my computer on Zoom, and then I put it straight on my website, and it's all secure, and we can say what we like and nobody gets in the way.
Yeah, I haven't experienced the Facebook gel yet, but I have been put in LinkedIn gel and TikTok gel before. So sometimes people don't like to hear what you have to say.
No, they don't. No, but hey ho. I've learned over the last 4 years that everybody has a choice, and although my opinion is based on fact and evidence and all the rest of it, people just don't want to hear it. And I help people reverse serious illness and disease to people who in the UK have been sent home to die. I've had good experience turning them around, or at least giving them extra time and so on, years in some cases. But it's people's choice, isn't it? At the end of the day, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, as they say.
Oh, I changed that saying a little bit, and I say you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them think.
Yeah. Oh, true. Oh, yeah. Thinking. Good God, that's all conditioned out by the time you're 7 these days. Absolutely.
So back to Moshe's, I think it was Moshe's suggestion that you present to the group.
It was
Damar's
Please.
Suggestion.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
Somebody who
We get mixed
suggested
up quite a bit.
Yeah,
Zoom.
your brother from the other mother. So February 29th is the next opening on our calendar for speaking. Michelle is presenting with Tom next week, and then Bob has a presentation on the 22nd, and then February 29th would be the next opening.
Okay. I'm checking my diary. I'm sure the answer is yes. Normally I'm one of these people that the answer is yes. What's the question? We always make. Actually, yes. You're already in my diary. When Neil invited me here, he said it's a regular thing, so it's already in my diary. So okay, yes, no problem.
Brett, congratulations, because that's also Sadie Hawkins Day, so it's good that you're having a women speaker group that day.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah,
I didn't
29th. Yeah, 29th of February. Goodness, yeah, don't get many of those, do we?
Yeah. Hey, Breck, you were referring to Bob Hayes speaking on the 22nd, right?
No, you
Oh, I captured that.
You captured that because you started talking about Boolean searches and stuff for LinkedIn. And so we said, hey, this is enough information here. We need to put this into an actual discussion. So
got it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for everybody being here today. I know that what time flies when you're having fun. Appreciate Dan and your presentation. I've known about your program for years, but it's great to get refreshed on that. And I want to set up a one-on-one with you, so I've got some additional things I think we could do together in directing some business your way. But yeah, appreciate everyone being here. Next week, please come for Michelle's presentation, and invite a friend. Always welcome. But have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Yes.
Thanks, Brian.